ஓம் ஐந்து கரத்தனை ஆனை முகத்தனை இந்தின் இளம்பிறை போன்ற ஈற்றினை நந்தி மகந்தனை ஞான கொழுந்தினை புந்தியில் வைத்தடி போற்றுகின்றேனே. வசுதேவசுதம் தேவம் கம்சச்சாணூரமர்தனம் தேவகி பரமானந்தம் கிருஷ்ணம் வந்தே ஜகத்குரும். கிருஷ்ணம் வந்தே ஜகத்குரும். Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum.
First, let me thank Liz for organizing this program. I mean, we did this, the Karma Yoga portion a few weeks back. Now the second part of the Bhagavad Gītā, which will be the Bhakti Yoga portion, which consists of the 7th to the 12th chapters. We'll go through these 6 chapters. And I think some of you may have attended the Karma Yoga program, so you know the trend, the thought process so far. Actually, the Bhagavad Gītā is, some of you are new to this program. Bhagavad Gītā is not a standalone text; it is part of a epic, part of a itihasa. We call it itihasa, called the Mahabharata. There are 2 itihasas. One is known as the Ramayana, the other one is known as the Mahabharata. In the Ramayana, the Lord Rama, who is the avatara of the Lord Mahavishnu, and then in the Mahabharata, Krishna plays an important role. Krishna plays an important role in the in the development of the historically. But I mean, this is called the Mahabharata and the Ramayana are called itihasa. Itihasa means, the word itihasa, when you split it, iti plus ha plus asa. Iti means thus, like this, thus or like this. Ha, surely. Asa, it was just like this. What does it mean? It means that both Mahabharata and the Ramayana are historical events. And then the 2 main characters in these 2 historical events, known as Lord Rama and Lord Krishna, are said to be avatars. You know the term avatara. I think many of you are aware of the term avatara. Avatara, what does it mean by avatara? Tara is to move. Tara is movement. Ava means downward. Avatara is downward movement. Downward movement means what? The Lord who is in heaven, somewhere up, he comes down to the earth for the good of the human beings and also other creatures which he has created. So avatara is coming down to our level, take the human form or any other creature, so that instead of having a vague idea about the Lord is able to come down, stay with us. He does it. The Lord comes once every yuga. Yuga is the period of time between the starting of creation and the final resolution. So that span of time span is known as yuga, and every yuga is supposed to take an avatara. Okay, the previous avatars have been Rama, then the avatar of Krishna, and then for this particular yuga called Kali Yuga, there is a general belief that the Lord will take the avatar of Kalki, or something like a warrior riding a horse. So that is the idea given. Of all because it is called itihasa, the general belief is that God really came down and then for the benefit of the human beings. So people who study the Mahabharata and the Ramayana, they don't read it as merely as a great epic or something like that. They also believe it's something that has really happened. And then those accounts are given, one by Valmiki in the Ramayana, and then in Mahabharata, Vyasa wrote the Mahabharata. So in which he narrates the entire story of the Bharata Vamsha. And now we are at a particular stage where the two branches of the same family, right? Same dynasty. One is the Kuru Kauravas, belonging, the head of the Kauravas is Dhritarashtra, and then the head of the Pandava, his younger brother, Pandu, and then their children fight among themselves. One group is said to be what do you call, one set with dharmic. Dharmic means they follow the law, they follow the rules, they follow the the generally accepted behavior, whereas the other group does not follow that. So something like good and evil, this kind of division is there. It happens within one's own family, within the same family. Okay, so the story was that both the Kauravas and Pandavas fight among themselves, and ultimately the kingdom itself was divided into two parts, and then the younger brothers, the radical Pandu, the younger brothers' children, who follow the dharmic path, the head of the head of the Pandava clan is Yudhishthira, or he is also known as Dharmaputra. He is said to be the son of the goddess of Dharma. Anyway, so they follow the Dharma meticulously, whereas the other group, they do not follow. So between Dharma and Adharma, there is a lot of conflict. So dharmic people, they put up with a lot of difficulties. And ultimately, when they are treated without any mercy whatsoever, they got to come back and fight. That's how the war starts. The war starts because they were pushed to the wall, and then they met all the adharmic demands of those people, and then ultimately, even after completing or fulfilling all their demands, when they were refused their due share, they decided to fight. And then that is known as the Kurukshetra war. It's an 18-day war. And then in the beginning, both the Kauravas, in the battlefield, they meet, and then Arjuna, the third son of the Pandava dynasty, he asks Krishna, Lord Krishna, who is the avatar of Mahavishnu himself, to park the chariot. Krishna was the charioteer, and then Arjuna was sitting in the chariot, and then he asked them to park the chariot in the middle of the battlefield. The battle does not. There are certain rules in the olden days. Just don't. The rules include that you should fight only between sunrise and sunset. When sunset, there should be no war. They go back to their barracks. It is not so. Nowadays, what they do, they start the war right at 2 o'clock when everybody is sleeping. Right? So lots of things have happened in the Yuga. And in the olden days, this is not. Even the adharmic people will have to follow certain rules. So before the war actually starts, Arjuna looks at his his own clan, his own cousins and teachers, and also his own uncles. Many of the people with whom he had spent all his life as comrades or friends or relatives, or so he also as teachers, students. So he is completely upset by this situation where he has to fight his own kith and kin. He has to fight his own uncles and aunts and uncles and not aunts, uncles and what else, acharyas, teachers. So that was too much for him. So virtually he breaks down, and then he asks, he tells Lord Krishna that he will not fight, he will run away, he will go away from that. And then it was the job of Lord Krishna to slowly reason with him so that he'll be able to bear arms and then fight the war. So that's the story. So this instruction, this advice or upadesha is advice or whatever you want to call it of the Lord to Krishna is known as the Gita or Bhagavad Gita. Gita means song. Gita also means something very sensible, right? Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavan means the Lord. Bhagavan means what? Bhagavad Gita or the song or the advice or the instructions of the Lord. That's the title of the book. This is actually about 700 shlokas. 700 shlokas are, but so most of them are in the Anushtup meter. Each meter, Anushtup meter has got 4 padas, four lines. I mean, if you know that, people who read poetry know that, they got certain rules for each kind of meter. This is called Anushtup meter, which has got 4 padas or 4 quarters, and each quarter will have 8 syllables. So most of the shlokas in this Bhagavad Gita, and in fact, the entire Mahabharata is made up of these 4, the Anushtup meter. Anushtup Chandas, they call it. It's one of the important meters, All right. So with this, then the first 6 chapters were called the, of course, the Lord starts giving him instructions. The first chapter is virtually a preamble, something like a preamble, where Arjuna says why he would not fight. So that is the starting point. There's no point in advising somebody without knowing why he doesn't want to do something. So Arjuna tells Lord Krishna why he does not want to fight. So he gives some, fairly reasonable reasons. All of us could be moved by the way he talks, whereas the Lord picks holes in his arguments and then starts advising him that it is his duty to fight. It is not. So the second chapter is very, very important, because unlike our normal way of going about telling everybody that, it is your duty, you should do it. That's the kind of, don't worry about it. If you don't do it, what are the consequences? This is the normal way of, explaining everything, persuading somebody to do one duty. But here, Krishna starts straight away by telling the nature of the self. He gives him some spiritual advice. What he says is, whomsoever you think to be your cousins, your uncles, your teachers, and all that, the real Atma, the real self within them cannot be destroyed at all. It is immortal. So nobody can kill anybody. The spirit cannot be killed. The Atman cannot be killed. So whatever is going on is only at a pragmatic level. So really speaking, you are not killing. So that idea he wants you to keep in your mind. That idea that, the real nature of the self is pure, unwavering consciousness, as mentioned the Sankhya, the first instruction he gives. He doesn't give other instructions, other things he's going to talk about later, but then straight away he says that, whenever you fight, you kill somebody, you don't kill that particular person, the body will be gone, but the Purusha can never be killed. So he gives you enormous, if you read the Sankhya Karika, just one sentence, it says the nature of the Purusha, whereas here, because he is talking to somebody who is not a scholar, he's just a warrior. He is very intelligent, but then he is not a scholar. So he explains to him what is the nature of the self. So the entire second chapter is the most important instruction in the entire Bhagavad Gītā, is to tell everybody that the real nature of the self is non-changing, immortal consciousness. Right? That is the real self. So once you are able to, focus your mind, if the buddhi tattva or buddhi intellect is able to appreciate this, and slowly it is able to, keep that the real self is not the body and mind complex, but the real self is the Atman or the Purusha or Drashta, whatever term that you use. That is the self. My buddhi is able to focus on that and then still go doing all my work. If I am able to do that, then I will not be concerned so much about the results thereof, because whatever be the result, that is not going to affect the real self. Once I have that idea in my mind firmly established, without any doubt whatsoever, then whatever is mentioned in the Karma Yoga portion becomes possible. Many people say Karma Yoga is doing your duty without thinking about the consequences, without thinking about what the results that are, without thinking about the benefits you get out of that. That's all right, you can say that. But in practice, it is not possible to do. So here, in the first 6 chapters, the main thing is, first of all, you must understand the true nature of your self and then do all your activities. Once you do that, you understand the nature of yourself and then do your activities, there will be no desire for you won't be hankering after the results there, because you know that the benefit that accrues to you by doing all your duties is not in any way going to affect the real Purusha. And that idea comes to your mind, then such people will be able to follow Karma Yoga very easily. That is why the first 6 chapters, unfortunately, the emphasis is not so much on the understanding nature of the Purusha. Of course, it is not possible for you to straight away, contemplate upon on the Purusha and attain Kaivalya. That's not what he is talking about now. Still, Arjuna will have to do his duty. His duty is to fight the war. At the same time, if he is able to understand the true nature of the self, he got what is known as the Paroksha Jñāna. Paroksha Jñāna means Krishna is able to tell him Paroksha Jñāna. You see, this is the real self. I know that. I am telling you. We keep that in mind and then fight. With that particular knowledge, if he is going to fight, Karma Yoga is not impossible. Karma Yoga, whenever people try to practice karma yoga without the understanding of the nature of the self, it's very difficult to work. Many times people say, whenever you sit in karma yoga, karma yoga is not doing all your duties without hankering after the results. It's very, very difficult to do that. Right? Who will do anything without thinking about the results thereof? I do something so that I get something out of that, right? Otherwise, I don't do it. So here, the first portion of Karma Yoga deals with these two things. One, the real nature of the self, you understand. Then you go about doing your duties. Whatever be your duties, try to fulfill all your duties. Keep on doing all your duties. Fulfill all your responsibilities. Don't get further involved into further commitments. Don't. If you're really interested in understanding the nature of the self, so if I want to take the spiritual path, then fulfill all your responsibilities. Don't take any fresh responsibilities. Don't take any fresh duties or fresh. Supposing I got one yoga studio. Don't mistake me. I'm not talking about anybody. If I got one yoga studio, then what happens? With one yoga studio, if we can maintain my family, I should try to concentrate on one yoga studio, do whatever it is possible, maintain the family. After the children are grown up and then leave the home, then I should slowly retire and then try to take more and more time for my own spiritual development, more and more study, more and more contemplation and all that, rather than, expanding the number of studios. Then I got a change of studio. Then what happens? The time you don't have you can still be successful, all right, but then you don't have all the knowledge that you have got should be used to develop your own self. Anyway, that's the whole point. So first 6 chapters Karma Yoga. There are 2 things, as I told you. One, understanding the nature of the self and doing one's duties. So that is called Karma Yoga. Okay, but Yogastha Kuru Karmani, that's what the Lord says at a particular point. But it's Yogastha. Yogastha means remaining in yoga. What does it mean? Keeping the nature of your own self, which is pure consciousness, in the back of mind. Kuru Karmani, whatever karmas that are karma that you are required to do, whatever duties that you are required to do, go ahead and do it. If you do that, then it becomes possible to practice Karma Yoga. So the first 6 chapters are mainly on these lines. And then after talking about this, he comes to another area which is called Bhakti Yoga. Karma Yoga is there. In Bhakti Yoga, he talks about. Some people are interested in that. Some people want to know more and more along the path of the spiritual path, if you want to call it. And then one of the most easy path, according to olden day people, is to worship the Lord, right? Ishvara or Bhagavan. And so the second portion of the second part is. And then the Lord Krishna himself said, I am the creator of this universe. You may not know because it is my avatar. You see me as a normal, ordinary human being, but I am the creator. I am the creator. So does the creator come down and talk? Yes. When he takes an avatar, he will do that. When he takes an avatar, that's why he comes down. The avatar, as I told you, he comes down from his high pedestal. Why does he do that? So that he will be able to convince people that there is that God exists. So every yuga he comes to tell everybody that God exists. So from that point of view, we have got to understand that the Bhagavad Gītā is a very, very practical. See, even though Krishna has been there right through Mahabharata, he doesn't say anything about it until he's able to find a good, very good Sishya, or a very good, Sishya means what? Very good disciple. And then, until then, he doesn't talk about his powers to other people. Whereas now he wants to tell everything about him to Arjuna so that everybody will be able to understand what is meant by God. So that will be the second portion, that will be the 7th and the 12th chapters. So many people have got faith in God. Many people have got faith in God. Some people don't have faith in God. But then, there are some people those people who have got faith in God. They will be able to develop on that, try to understand the complete nature of the Lord. We know they have got some vague ideas about it. Whereas when you study Bhagavad Gītā chapters 7 to 12, you got a much better understanding. Then you develop once you understand more, you appreciate more. You start appreciating the Lord, and it becomes much easier for those people, the devotees, to worship the Lord, rather than having a vague idea of the Lord is sitting somewhere and then without knowing anything about it. It's very much more difficult to, you have got a wrong impression, some vague ideas about the Lord. Whereas here in the Bhagavad Gītā, in the chapters between 7 and 12, he gives a fairly very exhaustive explanation or information about the Lord himself. So with that background, let us start the 7th chapter. 7th chapter is known as Jñāna, Vijñāna, Yoga. Yoga is here a path or a very compelling information. That's what yoga here means. What is it? Jnana, Vijñāna. Jnana means what? Jnana means, generally Jnana means knowledge. But here in this Jnana, in fact, in the Upanishad, they use the word Jnana for consciousness. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Brahma is said to be Jnana, pure, or Prajnanam Brahma. Jnana means pure consciousness. So here, Jnana means pure consciousness, which is Brahman. And then Vijñāna means what? That particular Brahman is supposed to manifest as the universe, So when you want to understand the Lord, understand the Lord, you must understand the essential nature of the Lord, and also the manifestation or whatever has been created by the Lord. In what way is it created? So all those things are supposed to be said in this particular chapter in a concise manner. Okay. So you could see in the first 6 chapters, it doesn't say much about himself. He talks more about the different types of karma and all that, different yoga practices and all that. But now he comes to, towards the end of the 6th chapter, he says, the last 2 shlokas of the 6th chapter, he says, Tapasvidyaha adhiko yogi, jnanibhyaha api mato adhikaha, karmibhyascha adhiko yogi, tasmat yogi bhavarjuna. This is a very important message. Tasmat yogi bhavarjuna. Okay, therefore, become a yogi. Tapasvidya, people who do penance, right? People who do penance. Yogi is higher than the person who does tapas. Jnanibhyo api mataha adhikaha. I think that even when compared to scholarly people, jnanibhyaha, who know everything, you can understand, intellectually appreciate everything. Adhikaha, yogi. Yogi is a person who not only understand, but also practices. He is able to realize within himself or herself. Jnanibhyo api mato adhikaha. Karmibhyo se adhikaha. Karmibhyo, people who karma yoga, when compared to karmibhya, people who do all the various karmas mentioned in the Shastras, like, hundreds and hundreds of rituals are mentioned. There are some people who are experts in that. When we compare to that, yogi is definitely superior. That's the Lord's view. Tasmat, therefore, you become a yogi. Here, what he means by yogi, he is going to explain in the next chapter. What he means by the yogi here, the discipline to do bhakti yoga. He is going to lead you to bhakti yoga. Then in the last shloka, he says, Yoginam api sarvesham. Yoginam api sarvesham means of the various types of yoga. What are the different types of yoga? Raja yoga, bhakti yoga, Raja yoga, hatha yoga, mantra yoga. There are so many different types of yogas are there. Yoginam api, there are different yogis. The yogis, sarvesham madgetena antaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam same yuktatamo mataha. He says, of all the types of yogis, the one who uses a yogic capability to meditate upon me so that you will be able to achieve, you will be able to ultimately merge with me, only such people I consider the best among all the yogis. So he slowly leads Arjuna to practice bhakti yoga, right? Is it clear? Whether you are a karma yogi or a jnana yogi or a bhakti yogi, the whole approach is, the whole goal of all this yoga is to do what? Be able to avoid a future birth. You don't accumulate your karmas. Yogis don't accumulate karma. They don't, because they don't have a worldly or other worldly motives. Because you don't have a worldly or other worldly motives, anything that you do that is called yoga will not lead you to accumulate karma. This is what the Patanjali's Yoga Sutras also says in the 4th chapter. Karma ashukla akrishnam yogina trividham itaresham. Karma means activities. Ashukla akrishna. Ashukla means what? Not white, not good, right? Not good. They are not punya karmas. Punya karmas are those that will take you to heaven and other places. Punya karmas. Karma ashukla. Ashukla means it is neither white. Ashukla Krishna, not black. It is neither dharmic or adharmic. What are the activities when you do asanas? Is it a good activity or a bad activity? from the point of view of Shastra, good activities, those activities will lead you to what you call better things. So whereas, better worldly or other worldly things. Or bad activities are those which will take you further down. So when you do asana, pranayama and all that, you are not trying to get anything from the outside world or from the other. So you are trying to improve your own body, mind complex so that you will be able to develop the capacity for Jnāna and ultimately be able to do meditation or do yoga on a tattva like your true nature of yourself or the Bhagavan or the Lord. Whatever be the object you want to meditate upon, you develop the mental capacity by practicing yoga. So that doesn't lead you to accumulation of karma. That's what the Patanjali in the Yoga Sutra says. What does it say? Karma ashukla krishnam yoginaha. Yoginaha means of the yogis, karma activities. Ashukla krishnam, it is neither good nor bad from the point of view of taking you further up in the hierarchy in the next level. So it won't lead you to the next level. Shukla Krishnam, Trividhamitaresha. Activities of ordinary people is of three types. There are dharmic people who do good activities, people who do activities which are consistent with the Shastras or scriptures. They are called the white kind of activities or Shuddha karmas. Such people, what do? If their activities are preponderantly dharmic, then they go to higher worlds. On the other hand, if their work activities are adharmic, they go to the other, they go in the opposite direction. But by and large, most of our activities are mishra. Mishra means partly good, partly bad. So what happens? Depending upon the preponderance of either white kind of activities or black kind of activities, in the future janmas, you further go up or go down, and then this cycle goes on and on and on. That is yogi. But so far as the Bhagavad Gītā is concerned, the karma yogi, by understanding the true nature of the self and doing everything, does not accumulate any further karmas. And then after completing all these duties, he is going to sit down and then contemplate upon the true nature of the self and attain a stage something like a Kaivalya stage. That's what the karma yoga will help you. On the other hand, the bhakti yoga, what does it do? Bhakti yoga is the same, contemplation capacity is there, capacity to ekagrata, capacity for one pointedness. With that, what will that person? He'll meditate upon the Lord. Meditate upon the Lord. And the Lord is Lord is somebody who he is not affected by karma. We already seen it in the Yoga Sutras, right? So he is not affected by that. So ultimately, at the end of this life, even as ordinary people, because of their karmas, accumulated karmas, go through the cycle of birth and death, these people break the cycle and then they reach the abode of the Lord or they merge with the Lord. So that is what is supposed to be achieved. So such people also don't take another birth. Then on the third chapter portion, the Jnāna Yoga, what does it mean? You must understand the unity of the individual soul and the Paramatma, the Lord and the individual soul. See, whatever you studied in the first part, whatever you studied in the second part, are mentioned the third part has to be one and the same. If that is the case, again, you have the same result. Right? When you understand that, Jnāna Yoga, understand the real nature of Jnāna or consciousness, then what happens? Even then the mind becomes completely free. There are no doubts, there are no desires anymore, because you know what is the nature of everything. You know the nature of the Lord, you know the nature of the individual self, you know that both of them are one and the same. So once that realization comes, such a person will have complete peace of mind. So all the three sections lead to a stage where there is no punaravritti. Punaravritti means what? You will not be born again. So unfortunately, for modern times, talking about the taking a new birth, other birth, and all that does not make much sense, because most people don't believe in the karma theory. So if that is the case, then what happens? They go about doing everything. So we try to explain everything without bringing the future births and all that into consideration. That will not help. That will not be helpful in understanding the subjects. All the three sections, right? Whether it is Sankhya Yoga and Karma Yoga in the first part, then the Bhakti Yoga in the second part, and the Jnāna Yoga where you know the unity of the individual soul and the Paramatma. All of them lead you to a stage where you will not be the mind becomes absolutely satisfied. Mind becomes absolutely satisfied, and with that satisfaction, there will be no motive to take another birth, isn't it? Once I am absolutely happy, absolutely satisfied, there is no desire for me to take another. I will not take another. There won't be any motivation. There is no karma which will drive me to take another birth. So you keep that in mind. And so the second chapter is going to tell you that, okay, Just like you are able to understand the true nature of your own self by following the Karma Yoga and the Sankhya Yoga knowledge. Now here you got to understand the true nature of the Paramatma. The Paramatma, and the people are able to worship that. Many people find it easy. Why is it some people believe in God, some people don't believe in God? That may be genetic, we don't know. If you have the bhakti, you got bhakti or what we call belief in God or a devotion towards it, you are quite comfortable worshipping the Lord, then take advantage of that. That's what happens in your Yoga Sutras also. In the first part of the Samadhi Pada, what does he say that Abhyasa Vairagya Abhyanta Nirodha. Similarly, that's what Krishna also says in the first 6 chapters. Abhyasa Vairagya, he talks about that. You see, you got to. So there, he all the responsibility, you got to do work everything, and then try to find out the nature of your own self, and then that will lead you to Kaivalya. So here, what happens is you worship upon. You got there in the in the Yoga Sutras, in the first chapter, after explaining how you should be able to bring your mind to Chittavritti Nirodha by Abhyasa and Vairagya, having talked about it, he says if you are not able to do that, if you got a bhakti in you, bhakti or devotion in you, then why don't you use it to understand the nature of Ishvara? And then with that you will be able to achieve the same goal with less amount of effort. Okay, now let us get to the 7th chapter. This is Jñāna, Vijñāna Yoga. I think I explained to you. There are different ways they explain. Jnana here refers to the pure consciousness, which is Paramatma. And then Vijñāna is the V. V means variety. Variety, understanding the greatness of the Lord by following his own creation. There are so many great things in creation. So by that you'll be able to understand the nature or the potency of the Lord. Omnipotent, we say that. Okay, how do you know that? He created this universe. Can I do that? Can anybody do that? Look at the details. Look at the harmony. Look at the way the universe functions. Right? Every cell, every atom, every drop of water, every human being, every creature. There is an order. Everything in nature also has. The sun rises in the east every day. Wind does its work. Everything, clock like this, clock accuracy. Everything is done because of according to them, because of the greatness of the Lord. The creation is phenomenal. This cosmic power is phenomenal. Okay, Jnana Vijñāna Yogam. Now in the 7th chapter, Sri Bhagavan Vacha, Sri Bhagavan Vacha. Bhagavan means what? Bhagavan means Krishna, Bhagavan. What does he say?
Sri Bhagavan Vacha, Maya Saktamana Partha Yogam Yunjan Madashrayah Asamshayam Samagram Mam Yatagnyasasi Tachrunu.
Partha is one of the names for Arjuna. Partha. Mayi means in me. The Lord says in me, in Krishna, in Lord Krishna, in me. Mayi Astamanaha. What is Manaha? Manaha means mind. That is your attention, your mind or your attention. Means completely. Sata means uniting. Completely uniting your mind. Completely your mind. That is that is the essential nature of yoga. What is the essential nature of yoga? The ability to remain focused. Right? Ordinarily, our mind is distracted. All over within 5 minutes, the number of thoughts that come to you are so many. Like, mind goes from one object to the other, the third object, fourth object, fifth object. Within a matter of 5 minutes, the mind goes all over the place. Whereas the yogi's mind will be able to remain with the chosen object for a length of time. That is asakta manaha. That is what the difference between yogis and ordinary people. Ordinary people, the mind keeps on running all over the place. Whereas the yogi's mind can remain focused on whatever it is chosen to remain focused on. Okay? Mai asakta. Now he says, forget about everything else. You focus upon me. I am the Lord. Focus upon me. Right? Focus upon me. Asakta mana. Means completely. Means completely. Sakta means united. Asakta mana. Your mind should be completely united in me. When you want to be united, you must know about me, isn't it? Otherwise, how will you know that? I don't know about the Lord. How can you focus my attention on the Lord? That's why these chapters are there. Well, slowly, when you read these 6 chapters, you develop the necessary bhakti, necessary devotion towards the Lord. Once you know the greatness of the Lord, you develop the same, not only the greatness, but also the kindness of the Lord. right? When you are able to understand all these things, then you are able to develop what you call asakta. You will be able to completely keep your mind focused on the Lord. Asakta manaha, mayi asakta manaha, mayi means in me. The Lord says, mayi in me, asakta manaha, with your mind focused in me, partha, what you call, partha, mayi asakta manaha, mat ashraya. Then what does this say? You don't need anything else. Once you take, what you call, focus attention, you don't need any support. You don't need any props, right? You don't need any props. You can do sarvangasana without any props, right? Absolutely, don't need any props whatsoever. Don't try to do sarvangasana without props. You are not comfortable. I'm just joking. Mayi asakta manaha, right? Matu ashraya. Matu means in me, ashraya. In me, ashraya. Ashraya means take support in me. In fact, the same idea you find in the, what you call, in the Yoga Sutras. What does he say? What does he say? Once you, what you call, take Ishvara Pranidhana, once you do Ishvara Pranidhana, all the impediment, all the, what you call, roadblocks are moved. Roadblocks are also removed. That's what they say in the Yoga Sutra. So you don't have to think about anything. You surrender yourself to me or think of me all the time, then you don't need any further support. No further support from this world or from any other world is needed. Only thing is, once you start thinking about me, you don't need any other support. I will support you. I will take care of you. Okay? Let's see, Yoga Sutras also is very clear about it. Matu ashrayaha yogam yunjanne. Yogam yunjanne means you regularly practice yoga, because mind will have to, what you call, mind, the body should not be a distraction. The outside world should not be a distraction, right? So you should have control over Rajoguna and Tamoguna. All the preliminary practices like yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, etc. keep on practicing, so that the mind will be pure, mind will be sattvic, it will be able to contemplate. Yogam yunjanne, regularly practicing yoga. Mam samagram. Mam samagram. Once he insists on that. Mam means me, samagram, completely, samagram. That is, samagram is understand me completely, understand the Lord completely. Mam samagram, asamshayam. Then asamshayam. Oh no, these are all, these are all in the Bhagavad Gītā. I don't know if that's real or somebody wrote a story, right? It can be a story. But then, in this context, it is not a story. So far as Arjuna is concerned, Arjuna's spirit is not a story, because the Lord is telling himself. For me, reading this from outside, it may look like a story, but in the context in which it is written, it is quite clear that Arjuna will be able to completely follow what the Lord says. Samagram, completely, asamshayam, without any doubt whatsoever. He's going to ask later on, you say that you are this and that, but I think we came across earlier. How do you, he says that, I know about, I am the original creator, so whatever has happened since creation, I know, that he said. Okay. Asamshayam yatha jñāsasi. Yatha means you try to understand exactly as I am. I am going to explain to you, I am going to expose myself to you, so that, you will have a complete understanding of what the Lord is capable of, what the Lord is. And you can't focus on something unless you know what it is all about. So he takes the trouble of explaining everything about himself. Mam samagram asamshayam yatha jñāsasi. Okay, tatishrunu, yatha jñāsasi. The way you should understand me, tatishrunu. It's clear. The way you should understand the Lord, I am going to explain to you. Who is going to explain the Lord? Only the Lord can explain. Because there is nobody higher than him. So the Lord only can come down and explain him. So I am going to explain to you who I am, right? What I am or who I am to you, and then listen to me carefully, so that you will be able to focus on me. That will be the Bhakti Yoga. Is it clear?
Maya sakta mana partha yogam yunjan madashrayah asamshayam samagram mam yata jñāsasi tachrunu.
We go to the next one.
Jñānam teham savijñānam idam vakshyami aseshatah iti jñātva neha bhūyah anyat jñāt avyayam avashishyate.
Jnanam. Here he is a Jnana means knowledge. Jnana means the, what you call, the ultimate reality, which is pure consciousness or Brahman. Teham savijñānam. Savijñānam means what? Along with the manifestations, right? Even though the, what you call, the source of everything is Brahman, then we must also understand what are the things that came out of that particular Brahman. How did it come about, right? How did it come about? If it is pure consciousness alone, then how is it this variety of objects they came out of him? So those things will have to understand. Normally, it will be very difficult to logically explain these things. So you got to listen to the Lord to understand how this happened.
Jñānam teham savijñānam idam vakshyami aseshatah.
Idam vakshyami aham te to you savijñānam. Savijñānam, along with the details of the manifestation, savijñānam. Idam jnanam, this understanding of the nature of the self, nature of Paramatma or Brahman, aseshatah. Aseshatah means, without leaving out nothing whatsoever. Aseshatah, leaving out without. Vakshyami, let me explain to you. Yat, knowing this, whatever I am going to explain, whatever I am going to explain, Jnātva, if you understand this, listen to me, understand this, so that you become part of your own understanding. Anyate Jnātavya, once you are able to understand this, anyate, there is nothing else you have got to learn. This is all what you need to learn. This is all what you have got to learn. Right? He has already asked him to, he told him anything about the nature of the self and asked him that he has to keep on fighting until, until he completes his duty. And then what does he do? Then you think about me, you meditate upon me. That's what he says. Yati jnātva, anyate jnātavya, there is nothing else to know. Na avasishyate, there is nothing else to know. There is no need to know anything else. Once you understand the Lord, right? Not only the way he is going to explain, what will say, he is the source of everything, and then what evolved out of him, both of them is what is explained. So once you are able to understand that, then there is nothing else to know. And then what he say, keep your focus on me all the time, right? You keep the attention on me, you meditate upon me. That's what he said in the first shloka, the second shloka. To be able to understand that, to be able to do that, he has to explain to you what he means by what is his essential nature, and also he has to explain what are how he created, what is the creation itself is. He has not explained that.
Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschit yatati siddhaye yatetam epi siddhanam kaschin mam veti tatvatah.
Manushyanam sahasreshu. Then he says, it's not available to everybody. Why do you wait until you come to me, at this situation to explain to me? He says, right? Manushyanam sahasreshu. Sahasra means 1,000. Sahasreshu means thousands and thousands of people, right? Right now we got about how many million? We got about 6-7 billion people at this particular moment, right? And then prior to that, more 30 years back or 100 years back, there was a previous generation, maybe 1 billion were there. So now next generation, more and more. So billions and billions of people have lived in the past, will live in the future, and are in the present. And of all these sahasreshu, billions and billions of people, manushyanam sahasreshu, kaschiti means one. An occasional one, kaschiti, yatati makes an attempt, siddhaye, to understand the Lord, right? By practicing yoga, the person attempts to understand the Lord, right? How many bhaktimans are there? There are very few. Most people believe in God, but then the kind of effort that he is going to talk about to understand the Lord in its entirety, there are very few people are able to do that. So he says, kaschite tati siddhaya. Siddhaya means to understand the Lord. Siddhi means the accomplishment. Only a few people, only a few attempt to be able to understand the Lord. Yatatam api siddhanam, of those people who make those efforts, siddhanam, kaschite mam veti tattvata. Only one occasional one person is able to understand me completely. What he is implying is that Arjuna will be that particular person because of the instruction given by the Lord, because of the attention Arjuna is going to pay. Arjuna has completely surrendered to the Lord. So he says that I will be able to explain to you who I am, so that you will be one of the few people who is able to understand the Lord in entirety. Okay.
Manushyanam sahasreshu.
Sahasreshu means thousands of people, thousands of people. Sahasreshu. Manushyanam sahasreshu. Kaschiti yadati siddhaye. Kaschiti means one attempts to achieve the goal. Yatadam, among those who actually make an attempt, siddhanam kaschit mam veti tattvata. Only one person will be able to understand me completely. Tattvata means exactly as it is, right? Sometimes what happens, we don't understand. We make up, right? We don't understand something. Oh, this is how it should be. We make up and then make a picture. So he says, tattvata, exactly how I am. You should be able to, the people who are able to understand me exactly as I am are only a few, right? Is it clear? We'll go to the next one. Then, what is my creation? So now he's going to explain about what he was able to do. What did he do? He created this universe. The Lord created this universe, right? Of course, different schools explain to you differently. If you look at the Sankhya philosophy, they explain it in a particular way. Here, in Vedanta philosophy, the Lord explains it.
Bhumihi apaha analaha vayuhu kammano buddhirev cha ahankara iti yamme bhinna prakritirashtadha.
Bhumihi means what? Bhumi means earth. Bhumi means earth. Bhumi means earth. Apaha. Apa is what? What is apa? Apa is water. Bhumihi apaha. Analaha. Anala means fire. Vayuhu is air. And Kam means space. Kam means Sarasha or space. And then in addition to that, Manaha. Manaha means what? Manaha means mind. Manaha means mind. Buddhihi means intellect. Yevacha. Then in addition to that, there is one more thing, Ahankara. Ahankara is not, there is another one more, one more aspect of creation. Itidam me bhinaha prakriti ashtada. My prakriti, what you call the universe I have created, is made up of these 8 major parts. What are the 8 major parts? Prithvi, Ap, Teyu, Vayu, Akasha. The 5 bhutas that all of us are familiar with. He says these are the 5 bhutas I created. In addition to that, I also created 3 more things at the microcosmical. What are they? Buddhi tattva, Ahankara tattva, and also Mano tattva. What is Buddhi? Intellect, right? Intellect. And then this Buddhi is not only, what you call it, is not only at the individual level, but it is also at the cosmic level. Cosmic Buddhi, cosmic intelligence is called Mahatattva. What does it do? Mahatattva. There should be an intelligent principle that is responsible to create this entire universe. The entire universe is not random. There is a particular, there is order in the entire universe. For an orderly thing to be created in an orderly fashion, there should be intelligence. Without intelligence, and not otherwise it will be random, isn't it? If somebody creates this universe without this particular universe intelligence or cosmic intelligence, so the first thing he is talking about is the 5 bhutas, and in addition to this, there is cosmic intelligence. Okay, and then that cosmic intelligence is also in each and one of us has individual intelligence. Is it clear? Okay. Buddhi evacha. But then mana, what refers to manas? Manas refers to now the coordinating what you call indriya, 5 karmendriyas and 5 jnanendriyas. What you call the eyes, ears, right, nose, then tongue, and skin. These are the 5 jnanendriyas and 5 karmendriyas. You know the 5 karmendriyas are there. See, there are the 10 indriyas, and the 11th indriya is the one that coordinates. Where is it? It is somewhere in the brain. In the brain, it coordinates all the karmendriyas and jnanendriyas, so that we are able to do coordinated activities. So all these things are there. These are all created by the Lord. The Lord, what he says, there has to be order. There has to be an intelligence. Without that, this orderliness in the entire universe, every cell behaves in a particular way. Every atom behaves in a particular way. There is more order in the universe than we think about. If we don't take it, we take it for granted. But there is this huge amount of order in the entire universe. And there is a intelligence principle created by the Lord. It's called cosmic intelligence. That created, that organized everything. In fact, in one of the Upanishads said that the Aishada, okay, then he contemplated for a long period of time. To contemplate, you need intelligence. Then if you go to the, I'll come to that. So, what are they? Bhumihi, apaha, analaha, vayuhu, ham, manaha, buddhi, and ahankara. What is the ahankara? Ahankara means there should be a motivation to act, isn't it? Ahankara is a motivation to act. See, without ahankara, why should the universe should be created? There is because of the universal ahankara coming out of the Lord. So he wanted to create this entire universe. Mere thinking about creating the universe is not sufficient. There should be what we call actual activity. That's called ahankara. Ahankara is the cosmic ahankara, is responsible for the creation of the entire thing. Cosmic Mahatattva is responsible for the planning of everything. Is it clear? And then then they got the Manotattva, which is responsible for each and every individual to act particularly. So all the three things are there. In addition to that, the entire universe is made up of 5 tattvas. What are the 5 principles are there? Prithvi, Apteyu, Vayu, Akasha. Prithvi tattva, that's what he says by Bhuhu, Bhumihi, Apaha is water, and then Anaraha is fire, Vayu is air, and then what is the next one? Kam means space. Kam means space or Akasha. So 5 bhutas, and then the three, Antaranga Indriyas. So now this is what he said. How does it compare with the Sankhya philosophy? Right? How does it Sankhya? Now he said, I created all these things. Whereas Sankhya says it's Mula Prakriti, from there Mahatattva. Mahatattva, Mahatattva is corresponding to the Buddhi Tattva here. Mahatattva is Buddhi Tattva here. And then from there Ahankara Tattva is also. From the Ahankara Tattva, Mano Tattva is there. Mano Tattva, then Indriyas. And then from the Ahankara Tattva, the 5 bhutas are created through the 5 tanmatras. So even though this appears to be different from the way Sankhyas are explaining, they virtually, only thing is he doesn't explain in such great detail as Sankhya's are going about. So the 24 tattvas that are explained in the Sankhya are already there in 8 tattvas. Is it clear? Even though it appears to be different, you really say the 5 bhutas, you've got to add the 5 tanmatras along with it. Then it becomes. Then when you talk about Mano Tattva, you've got to add the other 10 Indriyas along with it. When you're able to do that, you've got a complete picture, which is virtually meshes with the the Sankhya philosophy. Okay, then we'll learn. Then the other thing is, the other controversy is here. So far as the Sankhya is concerned, they said the Mula Prakriti created everything, whereas here he says, I created the whole thing. Can you sort of reconcile these differences? Yes, he will do that. Is it clear? Bhumihi, apaha, analaha, vayuhu, kham, manaha, buddhihi, evacha, ahankaraha, iti, ayam, me, bhinnaha. Bhinnaha, these are the various things I created. 8 different things I created. Bhinnaha. Prakriti Ashtada, Prakriti. Now use the word Prakriti. The Prakriti I created, the nature I created, or the universe I created, is made up of 8 things. What are they? 5 bhutas and the 3 antarangas. Okay, these are the 8 things that is created. Okay, we'll go to the next sloka.
Apareyam itaha tvanyam prakritim vidhi me param jiva bhutam mahabaho Yedam dharyate jagat.
So this entire universe called Prakriti, he says, is made up of 8 major components, 5 elements, and the Buddhi, Ahankara, and the Manotattva. These are the 8 things basically. In fact, this you find in the Vedanta philosophy. Virtually, they use these 8 aspects of the universe. Okay, let us go through this shloka too. But then he says, these are the 8 ones. He says, this is not the only things I created. I created something else. But iyam aparaha. The Prakriti I mentioned to you, made up of the 5 bhutas and the other 3 internal organs that I have just talked about. Aparaha. They are lower form of creation. Is a lower form of my creation. Anyam, there is something more than that. Jiva bhutam means I also created life. Otherwise, what will happen if you created all these things? Then what will happen? There will be no life. It will be like dollhouse. Just a child creates a house. There are no people inside. So after creating all these things, I also created the creatures. That's what he said. To iyam aparaha prakriti. This is the 8 formed prakriti he just talked about. It also the lower form of prakriti, aparaha. Anyam, there is something higher than that. Jiva bhutam. Jiva bhutam means, jiva means living or life, right? Life. Jiva bhutam. They me param prakriti. That is called the higher prakriti. So I made 2 types of creation. One, all the various objects, and then the individual creatures I created. Mahabaho. Mahabaho is addressed to Arjuna. Maha means great. Bahu means arms or shoulders. Idam jagate. Okay. Idam. So having created this, I support the whole thing. Idam jagate. This universe consisting of the 8 major bhinnas, portions, and also various creatures, is ultimately supported by me. Not only created, I support this continuously. I support this. Right? Idam jagate yaya dharyate. It is being supported by me. Okay, we'll go to the next sloka.
Yetadyonini bhutani savani yupadharayan aham krishnasya jagataha prabhavaha pralayaha tatha.
Sarvani bhutani, all the creatures. Sarvani bhutani, all the creatures. You, me. Okay. the bedbug, all the creatures, sarvani bhutani, etad yonini, okay, etad yonini means they arise out of these two. One, they got life, jagat prana, what they call it, jagat prana, universal prana. In fact, in the what's that, yoga Yajnavalkya, he talks about yoga. Ultimately, when the yogi leaves his body, his prana, the united prana, merges with the Jagat prana. The Jivatma merges with the Paramatma. You see? Okay? So here also he talks about universal life force. He has already talked about it. Now he says Sarvani Bhutani, all the creatures, Etad Yonini, Yotad Yenini means these two prakritis. What is the lower prakriti and higher prakriti? Lower prakriti consists of 8 elements, and then the higher prakriti is the life force. Iti upadharaya, please understand that aham krishnasya jagataha, okay, krishnasya jagataha, I, aham means I, krishnasya jagataha, this entire universe, prabhavaha means its appearance, tata pralaya, ultimate merger, ultimate dissolution. I am responsible. I created this universe. Everything came out of me. Everything is sustained by me, as already mentioned. And ultimately, everything merges back into me. Is it clear? That's what the Lord says.
Yetadhyonini bhutani savani yupadharayan aham krishnasya jagataha prabhavaha pralayaha tatha.
Jagataha prabhavaha pralayaha. Earlier he said that I sustain this entire universe. Right. We go to the next one.
Matta parataram nanyate kinchidasti dhananjaya mayi sarvamidam protam sutre manigana iva.
Mattaha Dhananjaya. Dhananjaya is another name for Arjuna. Why is he called Dhananjaya? As I told you that when the kingdom was split into two, one in Hastinapura, where Kauravas ruled, the other one was given to the Pandavas, and that that portion was the capital of that portion, Indraprastha they call it. So these are the two kingdoms. But then the portion of the land given to, proportion of the country given to the Pandavas are completely backward. No, not much of water facilities. No, it is very backward, very poor type. Whereas then the Dhananjaya or Arjuna, he took upon himself, and then he went around and then collected many people, very rich people in that particular area were keeping everything in the form of gold and everything. So he forced them to pay taxes. He forced them to use that money to create more and more facilities, and that way, the whole Indraprastha, his own kingdom became very, very prosperous. In fact, over a period of time, Indraprastha became more prosperous than the original Hastinapura itself. So that is why he's one of the terms, one of the names given to him is Dhananjaya. Dhanam means wealth. Jaya means one, the conqueror of wealth. So this is the story.
Matta parataram nanyate kinchidasti dhananjaya mayi sarvamidam protam sutre manigana iva.
Dhananjaya means Arjuna. Mattaha, compared to me, Mattaha when compared to me, Parataram something higher, Anyati kinchita nasti, there is nothing higher than me. I am Paramatma. Para means higher. There is nothing higher than me, right? There is nothing higher because I am the source of everything, and everything ultimately merges in me. There is nothing, they don't look for anything higher than me or anything other than me, right? Dhananjaya, Mattaha, Parataram, Anyati kinchit nasti. Anyati means something else. Kinchit is nothing, not even a what you call dust particle. Nothing else exists. Anyati kinchit nasti, right? Sutre, and then entire universe. Sutre. Sutra means what? Yeah. Sutra means what a thread, like a thread. Sutre, maniganaha, like what you call money means what? Money means beads, like beads. No, beads. You have beads. You got beads, right? The Japamala is like Japamala. There is a thread going through the Japamala, like that, like the beads connected, are held together by a sutra, or thread going through that. Like that, I am able to, everything is sustained by me. Try to compare the way the universe is. I am able to sustain because I run through everything. I run through the entire universe.
Matta parataram nanyate kinchidasti dhananjaya mayi sarvamidam protam sutre manigana iva.
I think of the entire universe connected to one another like a sutra going through, so like like a thread going through the mala, japa mala, right? I am the sutra. Right? Then we go to the next one. Rasaha. Then having said that, right? Having said that, he says that you will be able to see me, or you'll be able to know the, what you call, can you call it a godliness? Godliness? I don't know the term. Okay, even in this entire universe, there are certain what you call, in certain aspects, you'll be able to find God. You'll be able to find God. What are these proportions?
रसोऽहमप्सु कौन्तेय प्रभास्मि शशि सूर्ययोः प्रणवः सर्ववेदेषु शब्दः खे पौरुषम नृषु.
Rasaha aham apsu. Apsu means what? In water. In water, I am rasaha. I am the rasa. Rasa means taste. I am taste. So what is the rasa? Rasa tanmatra. Have you heard of rasa tanmatra? The 5 tanmatras. Have you 5 tanmatras? 5 bhutas are 5 tanmatras. Do you see what I mean? These are the 5 tanmatras. Rasaha aham apsu. In water, I am the tanmatra. I am the essence of water. I am the essence of water. So Kaunteya, Prabhaha Asmi, Kaunteya, and Prabhaha Asmi I am. Prabha means the, what you call, the glow. Prabha means glow. Shashi Suryoho, the glow you find in the sun and the moon, it is me. It is me. You can want to find God in the sun and the moon. It is the luster or the glow of the sun and the moon. It is where you are able to find God. Okay, do you understand what I'm saying? Godliness. Yeah. Pranavaha sarva vedeshu. There are 4 Vedas. What are the 4 Vedas? Rig, Yajus, Sama, Atharva Vedas. They are huge. There are so many branches of them, you know. There are so many branches of them, right? It's a huge. In fact, even the simple Yajur Veda, Krishna Yajur Veda, takes about 40 hours to chant at once. 40 hours to continuously chant. If you want to completely chant the Yajur Veda, it takes anywhere between 40 to 45 hours, right? Like that, there are so many other Vedas, so many other branches. It's a huge, body of knowledge available in the Vedas. And then, of all the Vedic mantras, Pranavaha Aham, okay? Of the Vedic mantras, if you want to find the Lord, in the Vedic mantras, you find them in the mantra Om. Mantra Om is found in the Vedas, right? So, Aham Pranavaha, Sarva Vedeshu, of all the Vedas, right? The word, the mantra Om represents the Lord. That's what the Yoga Sutras also say. Tasya Vachaka Pranavaha. Pranavaha Sarva Vedeshu, Shabdaha Ke. K means, K means, come means space. K means in space. What is space? Akasha. What travels in Akasha? Shabda Tanmatra travels in Akasha. So here Shabda Ke. Space contains a lot of things. This computer in front of me, this table in front of me, you, all of us, they are all in space. All of us are in space. So where do you find the Lord? You find the Lord as sound in space. According to the Sankhyas and also Vedanta, the Tanmatra that travels through the medium of space is Shabda. Shabda means sound. So, okay, Shabda Ke, in space I am sound, and Paurusham Drishu. Drishu means what? Drishu means among all human beings, Paurusha. Paurusha means manliness, right? Manliness among all Purushas. Purushas are males actually, Paurusha are manliness. Okay, so he says, it is not as though you cannot find me. You can find me in these aspects. If you can find the Lord, what you call in water as is a rasa, taste, and then if you look at the sun and the moon, the luster or the prabha or the light thrown out, the luminous aspect of the sun and the moon, it is me. It is the Lord. Pranava. Then when you chant the Vedas, when you chant the Om mantra, then that represents the Lord. Sarva Vedesh. Ke means in Shabda, the sound or Shabda Tanmatra in space, and Paurusham Drishu means among human beings or among men, Paurusha. Paurusha means manliness. He'll go to the next. He says that why does he say this? He wants to say, having said that I am like a thread, in a mala, I'm pervading the entire universe. When you pervade the entire universe, what happens? Where can I find you? These are the places where you can find me. You can find me in these things. Does it make sense?
पुण्यो गन्धः पृथिव्यां च तेजश्चास्मि विभावसौ जीवनं सर्वभूतेषु तपश्चास्मि तपस्विषु.
Punyo Gandaha Prithvivyam. Gandaha Prithvivyam. Prithvivyam means in earth, right? Earth. Punya Gandaha. What do you call it? Punya Gandaha means uplifting smell. Like the incense. That's why they use the incense at the time they worship the Lord, right? They create this incense and also camphor. These are all considered to be Punya Gandhas or auspicious smells. Punyagandaha Prithvivyam means here. Then Tejaha cha asmi vibhavaso. Tejaha asmi vibhavaso. Vibhavasa means fire. In fire, Tejas, right? Tejas means the light, not so much the heat. He said the light coming out of the Agni is I am. You want to find me in Agni, I am the light in Agni. Without light, what is the use of Agni? Okay. Vibhavaso. Jivanam sarva bhuteshu. In all the creatures, Jivana means life force. Jivana here is life force or prana. Prana is essential for living. So he says, if you want to find the Lord, find me in all the creatures, you find them as their breath, as their life force. Jivanam sarva bhuteshu tapasyasmi tapasvishu. Those are people who do penance. You will be able to see me as the penance itself. People who do penance, in them, the penance itself is the godly nature in them. Is it clear?
पुण्यो गन्धः पृथिव्यां च तेजश्चास्मि विभावसौ जीवनं सर्वभूतेषु तपश्चास्मि तपस्विषु.
What does he say? He says that I am not apart from the universe. I am there in the universe, but you can't find me everywhere. I am, you can see this godliness in certain aspects. So he gives you an indication of that. Not only you can't, you can't find the Lord, even though He permeates everywhere. Then you can got Manigana. You got to get into the manis to find out the sutra. Am I right? Manigana is the mani is what? Mani is Manigana is the garland. You know garland are the. Okay. So the sutra you can't see there, but then it permeates like this. So it's like this. You only in certain places, certain places you will be able to see the Lord. That's what he said.
पुण्यो गन्धः पृथिव्यां च तेजश्चास्मि विभावसौ जीवनं सर्वभूतेषु तपश्चास्मि तपस्विषु.
Then he continues to say where else you can see the Lord. See, one example that they normally give is, see, blood circulates, the heart pumps blood, and then the pumped blood goes through various arteries all through the body, isn't it? It goes through all through the body, and it separates ultimately into capillaries, and then it is able to reach all the tissues in that particular way, right? But then even though blood circulates through all through the body, there are so many arteries in the body. But then if you want to find out the artery, you are able to find the arteries only in certain places, like your wrist or your temple or in your ankle. These are a few places where you are able to feel the pulse or feel the flow of blood. So not everywhere, even though it is flowing everywhere, in every cell it is flowing, but you are not able to feel that. You are able to feel that only in certain places. Likewise, even though God is everywhere in this universe, you are able to appreciate a godliness in certain places.
पुण्यो गन्धः पृथिव्यां च तेजश्चास्मि विभावसौ जीवनं सर्वभूतेषु तपश्चास्मि तपस्विषु.
Punyo Gandaha Prithvivyam Tejasyasmi Vibhavaso Jivanam Sarva Bhuteshu. I am life in every creature, all living beings. I am life. You want to find God in all human beings, Yes, without the Lord, nobody will be breathing, nobody will be living. So that is one way of understanding. Jivanam sarva bhuteshu tapasyasmi tapasvishu. Among tapasvis are people who do penance. You will be able to. The penance itself is the Lord.
Vijam mam sarva bhutanam.
Mam sarva bhutanam. Among all the creatures, Vijam ma means I am the seed. I am the seed. I am the original creator. I am the original seed. Because of which the entire universe came.
Vijam mam sarva bhutanam vidhi partha sanatanam.
Ritual sanatana. Sanatana means I am the bija. I am the source of the entire universe. Not only in the beginning, even now, at this particular moment also, I am the source of the entire universe. Right? So he says that sarva bhutanam partha sanatana. Sanatana is perpetually. I am the source. I am the source. I am the bija. I am the seed for the entire universe. Buddhi matam asmi. Buddhi matam asmi. Among wise people, I am wisdom. Buddhi matam asmi. I am wisdom among wise people. Buddhi matam asmi. Tejasaha tejasvinam aham tejasvinam. Tejasvinam, the illustrious people. I am tejaha. I am the luster of the illustrious people. Is it clear?
Vijam mam sarva bhutanam vidhi partha sanatanam. Buddhir buddhimatam asmi tejas tejosvinamaham.
Next sloka.
Balam balavatam asmi kamaroga vivarjitam dharma viruddho bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshabha.
So the next sloka, again he continues with that, it's a very, what do you call it, very good, see, rather than thinking that there is no God, he says, you find me in almost everything in life. Only thing is look for me. I'm there. Right? When you see all the creatures living, that life itself is the Lord. Is it clear? Balam balavatam asmi. Balavantam means people who got a lot of strength, strong people. I am the strength. I am the one who gives strength to all the people who are strong. And then balavatam asmi kama raga vibhijita. And then that bala, what is bala means strength, should not be used for anadharmic purposes. I am bala or strength in those people who kama raga vivarjitam. If they do activities without kama here refers to lust. Raga is attachment. Kama and raga. Many people, very strong people, what do? They use their strength to suppress other people, right? No, that kind of strength is not godliness. People who use their strength for dharmic activities, and those, that kind of strength I am talking about, not brute force, which people use to suppress other people or other creatures. Balam balavatam asmi kama raga vivarjitam. Kama means what? Kama means lust. Many people use their strength for, to subjugate other people. Kama raga means attachment. Kama raga, I use my strength to possess something which I want. Right? So these are not the strengths I am talking about. I am talking about a strength which is devoid of all these things. So that is the next sloka. Dharma aviruddho bhuteshu kamaha asmi bharatarshava. Kamaha asmi. Kamaha means love or lust, whatever. Right? Kamaha asmi bharatarshava. Bharatarshava is the Rishabha means a bull. Bharata means the dynasty, Bharata dynasty, right? I mean, these people belong to a dynasty called Bharata. Bharata was the original king, and these are their descendants. So in that dynasty, he says, Bharatarsha, you are like a bull. You are one of the, you are perhaps the best among all those, among everybody in that community. Dharma viruddho bhuteshu kamaha asmi. Dharma bhuteshu. Bhuteshu means among all the creatures that you see and all the people that you see. Bhuteshu. Okay, I am kamaha asmi. Kamaha asmi means I am, I am kama. Kama means the desire. Kama means desire. Particle can even call it a sexual desire. Kamaha asmi bharatarshava. In what he qualifies it by saying this, dharma aviruddha bhuteshu. Dharma means what? Dharma means what is dharmic, what is right, what is lawful, right? What is lawful? According to olden days, that is, one should have sex only with with a dharma patni. Dharma patni, or dharma patni is somebody who is married, according to the customs and manners, customs. Dharma viruddha, it should not be against dharma. Anyway, Okay.
Balam balavatam asmi kamaroga vivarjitam dharma viruddho bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshabha.
We will go to the 12th shloka.
Ye chaiva sattvika bhava rajasastamasaschaye matta eveti tan vidhi natu aham teshu te mayi.
Okay. Now he says all the objects that you see, all the creatures that you see are made up of the three gunas. Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. That is Prakriti. Right? All of them you try to understand that even though I permeate everything, all the objects are Prakritic objects. Right? Prakriti. So we will see. Yecha eva, and further. Yecha eva, satvikaha bhava. He explained only a few things. Isn't it? You remember? He explained only a few objects in which you can find the Lord. Now he says, Yecha eva, then there are all other satvikaha bhava. They are all made up of sattva guna, sattva, rajasaha, tamasaha chaye, and also those which are predominantly rajasic or tamasic. Tan, all of them, mattaha eva. Even though I am pure consciousness, all the objects that are made up of sattva, rajas, and tamas rose out of me. What is the difference between Sankhya and here? In Sankhya, it is the Prakriti, which is made up of three gunas, which is independent of the Purusha, right? Independent of the Purusha. Or the Ishvara for that matter. Prakriti is independent of it. Nature has got its own capacity. But here what they say is the Prakriti itself is created from the Lord. He says, I created this Prakriti. So according to the Vedanta philosophy, Prakriti is not independent. Prakriti arose out of the Brahman. From the Brahman only, it has got no independent existence. So that's what you got to understand. There's a big difference between the Sankhya Yoga philosophy on one side and the what you say, and the Vedanta philosophy on the other side. Ye chayeva satvika bhava. All the objects which are sattvic, rajasaha, tamasaha chaye, those which are rajasic and tamasic, they mean predominantly sattvic or rajasic. Okay, so all those things, all those things. Mataha eva. Mataha means Mama eva, mattaha eva, only from me, from the Lord, iti, you must understand. There is no object which has not come out of me. They all come out of me. And if you go to the Sankhya, they will say everything came out of Prakriti. Then the Lord here says the Prakriti itself came out of me. So, but aham teshu na. On the other hand, you don't find, even though they are in me, you don't find God in all of them. What does it mean? That means all the objects that you see in the universe, even though they came out of the Lord, they don't have godliness. They are not God. They don't have godliness. They are Prakriti.
Tribihi gunamayi bhavaihi yebihi sarvamidam jagat mohitam nabhijanati mam ebhyaha param avyayam.
Tribihi gunamayi. This entire universe, right? You, me. When I say you, when you say me, I talk about Ramaswami. Ramaswami. Weighing so much, occupying some space. All the characters, idiosyncrasies, all of them put together, right? Trivihi gunahi is made up of three gunas. All the objects made up of three gunas. Some are more sattvic, some are more rajasic, some are more tamasic. But then all the objects that you see, including all the individual creatures, right? Because there's already said every individual creature, the life itself was given by the Lord. So all the creatures that have been created are Prakritic creatures, and then Trivihi Gunamayi, they are full of the three gunas. Three Gunamayi, Bhavaihi, and Vastu. All the objects that you see, all the Vastus, all the objects that you see are made up of three gunas. Mohitam idam sarvo. All the creatures in the world are completely driven by the object made of the three gunas. All the objects that you see around, all the objects that you see, all the people that you see, all of them are made up of the three gunas. They're completely infatuated, deluded by all the three. Mohitam. Okay, Jagati, this entire universe, all the creatures in this entire universe. From out of this, Param Abhyayam Mam. Param means the highest, Abhyaya means the one that does not undergo any change. Avyaya means that does not fall from its highest pedestal. Vyaya means avyaya, is manifest. Avyaya ma means me, na Vijñānati, they don't understand. What does he say? Because of the objects around us, we got all the creatures around us, we feel deluded by the objects, and then we are not able to see the Lord within this entire universe. We are not able to see the Lord. That's what he says. Yebihi, tribihi, gunamayehi. This entire universe made up of three gunas, which is Prakritik. Yebihi, trigunehi, bhavehi, all these objects. Mohitam idam sarvam. We are infatuated by all these objects, all these creatures, all these beings, all these the goodies, all of them. We are completely we are infatuated by these all the objects. Yedyaha param avyayam mam. Param means the highest. Avyaya means the unmanifest. Mam, me. Nageti, they don't understand. They don't see the Lord at all. Why? Because being deluded by this entire universe made up of the three gunas, all the objects made of three gunas, nobody is able to understand me. They are not able to understand me. Okay, now he comes out with the next very interesting shloka. We go to the 14th shloka.
Devi hyesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mameva ye prapadyante maya metam tarantite.
This is an interesting story. Even though the Lord said that He created the entire universe, now He comes out with another thing. Through the power of Maya, right? In fact, in reality, Yesha, this Gunamayi, made up of the three gunas, Gunamayi, Mama, Devi Maya, Mama means my, Devi means the feminine form of power, Devi, Maya, Durateya. It is very difficult to come there because the entire universe is made from the Maya. Maya means the one that deludes, the deluder of mind. The deluder of mind. Durateya. It is very difficult to overcome Maya. Durateya. Prapadyante. Those people who are able to surrender to me, only such people will be able to overcome the powers of Maya. Who is this Maya? Maya is my own power. What is Maya? What is the meaning of the word Maya? Maya generally it is considered as illusion. Maya means illusion. But in the actual world, there are some people who treat it differently. What is by Maya? The entire universe, according to the Lord, I created this entire universe through the power of Maya. And then once the Maya takes over, it prevents everybody, all the creatures, to look at me. They are not able to see. That's the situation he's talking about. Even though I am there, even though I created this entire world, I created this entire world through the power of Maya. What is the power of Maya? Ma plus Ya plus Maya. Ya, Ma, Sa, Maya. Ma means what? Ya means the one. What you call the one? Ya means two. So Ma means two interpretations for Ma. Ma means limited. You see what I mean? Ma means limited. Ya, Ma, the one that is. The Lord created the entire universe, taking a small portion of his powers. And then He created this universe. He still retained all the powers. He took small portion of his powers and created. Ma means limited powers. It is also clear that this entire universe, even though it is limited, it is unbounded but limited, right? Isn't it? It is possible to measure the amount of matter and energy in this universe. It is possible, right? It is limited. So Maya, some people interpret Maya as through the limited power of the Lord, this entire universe is created. Understanding. Another understanding of the Ma means not. Ma also means not. Ya Ma, the one that is not really there. The one that is not really there. So the universe that is created is not substantive. It is only an illusion. It is only an appeal. You, me, and everything in this universe is only an illusion, right? So that illusion cannot be overcome. So two different interpretations are there. Right? If you right, some people say the entire created universe is real, right? Sattaryavada means the creation is real. And some other people say the entire universe is Mayavada. Mayavada means the entire creation is only illusion, it is not real. It is very similar when you have a dream, the entire dream world is created on a daily basis. Every day, dream world is created. But then at the time that you have the dream, everything appears to be real. All those objects that you see appear to be real. You also think it is real. But when you wake up, all those things are gone. Like that they say, this entire universe, even though the Lord created this universe, He created what He created is only an illusion. Is only an illusion. So this is what we got to understand. That is why the word Maya is used here. Devihi Punamayi Mama Maya Grataya Mameva Ye Prapadyante Maya Metam Tarantiye. Only those people who are able to surrender to me, who try to understand, only such people are able to overcome the group of the Maya and all of us, right? Does it make sense? Think about it.
Devi Hyesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya Mameva Ye Prapadyante Maya Metam Tarantite.
He surely, this Gunamayi means the one which is made up of the three gunas. Mama Mai, Devi Maya, divine illusion power. Duratyaya is very difficult to overcome that. Ye whosoever, Mameva, whosoever, Mameva, only me, Prapadyante, only me, surrender to me, they only such people, Yeta Maya, this illusion of creating, Taranti, they are able to overcome that, right? Okay. Right. Maybe another sample, maybe sometime during the course of this, I will try to explain why these people say that real creation is not possible. There is a line of thinking by which they try to say that real creation, real means substantive creation is not possible. Whatever is created can only be an illusion. It cannot be substantive. That's not possible according to one group of thinkers. They are called Mayavadins. They explain it. They go from step by step. First of all, they try to explain how the yogis explain this, and then from there they take one step further and then say real creation is not possible. Even according to yoga, whatever we experience is not really the object. We experience only the interpretation of the objects by the mind. The mind receives all the information, interprets them, and then creates an image. Only that image you are able to see. You are not able to see any object per se. But then yogis say that the objects are real, but what we see is not the object per se. Only we are able to see an image colored by our own emotions and all that. So that's what we see. Consciously, that's what we see. The one that is able to see that is the Purusha, is the real self, according to us. But then we let on to take one step further and then say, Chittavritti, senses not only on whatever taken up by the senses from the outside world, the Chittavritti also includes one's own body, one's own self, one's own prakriti self. At this particular moment, I am not only aware of the outside world, I am also, there is an awareness of this person also. So the total picture is the Chittavritti, total Chittavritti. And then they say, if the individual is also part of the Chittavritti, and the brain is part of that individual, how can the brain, which is part of this individual, produce a Chittavritti which excludes that? So they say that the entire creation that we see is one Chittavritti, one Vritti, not Chittavritti, but Maya Vritti. Are Vritti, are what you call Vritti, are projection of Maya or illusion, right? And then that is being overseen by the Purusha. So step by step we go, then we will be able to come to why they say that the real creation is not possible.
Devi Hyesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya Mameva Ye Prapadyante Maya Metam Tarantite Namam Dushkritino Mudaha Prapadyante Naradhamaha Mayaya Apahrita Jñāna Asuram Bhavamashritaha.
Now he divides up people into two groups, people who believe in God and people who don't believe in God, right? So he divides people into two groups. Namam Dushritana Mudaha. Yes, he's very, he says that he says that they are ignorant people. They don't try to find out the source of this entire universe. They don't do that. So Dushkritanaha, people who do all activities for sensual gratification and purely worldly activities, people who engage themselves in Dushkritanaha, doing all sorts of activities just for their own happiness. Duskritanaha, Mudaha. Mudaha means people whose mind is full of tamoguna. They are not able to think. They are not able to see beyond beyond the, they are not able to deeper into the whole thing. They don't ask the necessary questions. Mudaha, Nara Adamaha. He is very angry with them. Nara Adamaha. Adama means low among the human beings. Nara Adamaha. Apakarta Jñānaha. Okay, Maya Apakarta Jñāna. Because of the power of Maya, which creates entire universe, it completely dilutes their mind. Apakarta Jñānaha, with their intellect completely, completely covered by this Maya, Vidya, if you want to call it. Asuram Bhavam, they become Asura. Sura means divine. Suras are divine beings. Asuras are demonic, right? They become demonic. Ashrita, they hold on to this kind of attitude. Mam na prabhadyante. They say no God. Even when they don't believe in God. That's what he says. I'm not saying this is what the Bhagavad Gītā says. That's what the Lord says. Is it clear?
Namam dushkritino moodaha prapadyante naradhamaha mayaya apahrita jnana asuram bhavamashritaha.
Apahata chetasaha. They don't think. Their mind is completely deluded by Maya. Then even he goes to those people who believe in God, right? There are two groups of people. People who don't believe in God, for whom the Lord has got absolutely nothing good to say. And then he goes to those people who believe in God, right? If you look at the Yoga Sutra, right? Yoga Sutra, there are people who want to completely use their intellect to understand the real nature of the self, and such people are able to do that by some of the concentration, by yoga power, they are able to do that. On the other hand, there are people who are able to believe in God. It's easy for some people to believe in God, and for some people it's very difficult, right? In fact, there is an interesting statement. Where two people met, and then one of them believes in God, the other person does not believe in God. And then they started arguing. One tries to convince the other. One is very strongly believes in God. The other person strongly believes that there is no God. So they start arguing. They're good fellows. They're good to listen. They don't. They just argue between themselves, and then they keep on arguing. Then Shayana, who wrote the commentary on the Vedas, he says that, okay, why do these people argue? The non-believer cannot convince the believer. The believer cannot convert the non-believer to become a believer. Then why waste your time? If you believe in God, go ahead, spend your time, follow that particular path. Right? The non-believer will find his own fate. So don't waste your time trying to convince each other, right? Because there is no way by which you will be able to convince more. But it's more genetic, we don't know.
Chaturvida bhajante mam janaha sukritinaha arjuna arto jignasuhu artharti jnani cha bharatarshabha.
Here, the previous sloka is dushkrita. Dushkrita means people who do papa karma, bad karma, such people don't believe in God. That's what he says. Now he said, among those people who believe in God, Sukritinaha, they are Sukritinaha, unless you do good activities, the faith in God does not arise in you. Sukritinaha, Arjuna, Sukritinaha, good people who have done good karma. Sukritinaha means people who have done good karma. Chaturvidaha bhajante mam, such people, such janaha, such people. Chaturvidaha, they are four, they can be classified into four. Among believers, they can put them into four groups. Chaturvida bhajante mam, they worship me, janaha. Who are they? First one is called Arti. Arti means people who suffer a lot. People who are Artanam Atyarantaram. It's a beautiful prayer we say at the time go to bed. At the time, Artanam Atyarantaram, the Lord who is able to remove all the difficulties one faces. Arta means people who suffer. Okay, they worship the Lord. They got lots of difficulties, right? All of us have got lots of difficulties. Life is not smooth, right? One problem today, another problem tomorrow. Sometimes the problems, they are chronic. They don't go away. Right? So such people, that's very common in India, right? When there is difficulty, you worship the Lord, and then when the difficulty goes away, then we forget about it. And then until the next what do you call, next difficulty, which cannot be solved by us, then we go to God. We go and pray to God, right? This is inculcated when you are young and you are 5 to 7 years old. Before going to exam, you pray a lot. You go to the puja room and then, you chant the prayer, right? And then after the exam is over, and then you forget about it until the next exam. My granddaughter doesn't get married, what do? I become more and more religious. I sit down and pray, right? Chaturvidaha bhajante mam janaha sukridinaha arjuna artaha. People who suffer, they worship the Lord. They worship the Lord. Jñāsu, jñātum ichuhu, jñāsu. There are people who are desirous of knowing, desirous of knowing the Lord. Such people also worship the Lord, desirous. Jñāsa, jñātum icha, jñāsa. They want to know what the Lord is. And then arthati. There are people who like the artha. Artha means, wealth. Artha means arthati. I want more and more wealth. I want to live more happily. I want more riches, right? I want to build a house, right? I want to run a business, right? Such people also worship the Lord. You find that many successful businessmen, they do their puja. Every day they worship God. Saying that their business should grow. Jñāsu artati jñāni. Jñāni is what? The person who realizes the Lord. He has realized the Lord. Jñāni. Jnana means one who has got the knowledge about the Lord. Bharatarshava. We'll go to the shloka meaning. Bharatarshava means Arjuna. Bharatarshava, Arjuna. Arthaha means people who are suffering. People who are suffering. All of us are suffering. Some way or other. Sometime or the other. Arthaha. And such people worship the Lord. Arthaha. Then Jñāsu. Jñāti michuhu, Jñāsu. People who are desirous of understanding. So these people, they worship the Lord and study the Bhagavad Gītā, whatever, right? They want to know, desire of knowing. Such people also worship the Lord. Jñāni, jñānāti, dhanātāti. People who want more comforts, more possessions, more riches, better way of life. They want all that. Such people also worship the Lord. Not all of them. People who worship the Lord can be classified into 4. What are they? What are the class? People who suffer worship the Lord. Some people worship the Lord because they want the difficulties to be over. Some people worship the Lord because they want to know the Lord. Some people worship the Lord so that they would like to have more riches. They will be more comfortable. And some people worship the Lord because they already realized the Lord. They don't want to think of anything else. These are the 4 groups of bhaktas. These are the 4 groups of bhaktas. So in some people can be divided to people who don't believe in God and people who believe in God. For those people who don't believe in God, he has talked about them in the previous sloka because they are deluded. They think there is no God. He says, according to him, they are deluded. Then among those people who believe in God, they can be classified into 4. One group of bhaktas worship the Lord because of their difficulties. Another group worship because they want to know more about the Lord. Thirdly, there are a group of people who worship the Lord for more comforts, more riches and all that. And finally, there are a group of people who believe in God, worship the Lord. They are able to see the Lord within their own heart, right? And they are in a great amount of bliss.
Chaturvida bhajante mam janaha sukritinaha arjuna arto jñāsuhu artharti jñāni cha bharatarshava.
Bharatarshava is the term for, is again for Arjuna. We go to the next one.
Tesham jñāni nityayuktaha eka bhaktihi vishishyate priyohi jñāni notyartham aham sacha mama priyaha.
Okay, now before going further, I would like to tell you something about these are the 4 types of people. Now I'll tell you comparing 2 bhaktas, 2 devotees of the Lord, very intense devotees. Both of them are young, 5-year-old. 5-year-old. One was called Dhruva, the other one is called Prahlad. I'll tell you the story very briefly. That is, you worship the Lord with a motive. The motive, my difficulty should go away, or I should become, I should have more comfortable life. These are the 2 things. Then on the other hand, Jnānati, I would like to understand the Lord, or I would, having understood the Lord, I remain. So there are 2 young devotees. One is called Prahlada, the other one is called Dhruva. Dhruva means firm, right? Dhruva means somebody is very firm. At the age of 5, one day he wanted to sit in the father's lap. He had a half brother. He got a half brother, and then that half brother was sitting in the lap of his father. His father was the king. This fellow was supposed to be the crown, but for some reason he was not given that. So one day he sees father, and then father was sitting the throne with his half brother sitting on one lap. So he rushed to his father, wanted to sit on the other lap of the father. He didn't want the other fellow to go. He wanted to sit on the father 2 laps. He thought he could lose one of his laps. So as he was about to approach the father, his stepmother, who was standing by, who became the queen, she said that, no, you can't do that. I won't allow you. See, and that only my son can sit in the father's lap because only he's the prince. You are not that. And then the boy became very upset. And then the father also did not intervene. So he cries to his mother, and then the mother says that nobody can help you. Only God can help you. He's only a 5-year-old boy. So he goes to the forest, to seek God, to find out where God is. And then there Narada is said to be a great Bhakta devotee. He wrote a text called the Narada's Bhakti Sutras, how to worship the Lord, like very similar to the kind of information that you find in the Bhakti Yoga portion of this Bhagavad Gītā. So he advises him how to meditate upon the Lord. He gave him a mantra, and then he asked him to stand in one-legged posture, and then close his eyes. And then he gave him a picture of the Lord, the way he has realized the Lord. And then the boy was able to have an image of the Lord in his mind's eye. And then he started meditating using the mantra. Then within a short period of time, the Lord appeared before him and then asked what he wanted. And he said that I want to sit in my path. He's got a artha, he's got a motive. What is the motive? I want to sit in my path. It's not very, nothing great. He didn't ask for, kingdom. He just wants to sit with a 5-year-old boy. That's the greatest thing, sitting in the father's lap. So ultimately, the Lord, helps him to achieve this, and then later on he becomes the king, and finally he was made, because of his devotion to the Lord, and then because of his firmness, at the age of 5, he was able to firmly do tapas to be able to realize the Lord. And so then he became the 4 star, the North Star that you see. See, this Dhruva approached the Lord for a motive. He had a motive, even though it is it's not very great, but then there was a motive. Like somebody wants difficulties removed, or somebody wants material benefits to accrue. So it's like that he wanted as a childish desire. Whereas the other fellow, Prahlada was the son of an Asura king. Asura means a demon, Asura king. At the same time, when he was young, he was able to realize the Lord. He was able to see the Lord within his own mind. And he was always in a state of bliss. Prahlada means happiness. Prahlada complete. Just the name itself indicates that he was a embodiment of bliss. Constantly so happy, thinking of the Lord. He had the Lord in his mind, in his heart all the time. And then he told his father and other people. Everybody, he said that why don't you realize the Lord within your own heart? You see, that's all what you should do. You can be very happy. All these things that you are trying to do will not be able to give you the happiness that you will be able to get by realizing the Lord in your own heart. That was his message at the age of 5. He went on talking about it. But then at that time, he had no motive at all. He loved God. That's about all. The bliss he got by merely thinking of the Lord. He didn't want anything else. He didn't want anything. He didn't want to become the king. He just wanted everybody to enjoy to get the bliss of the Lord by meditating upon the Lord. So what I'm trying to say is, the Dhruva and Prahlada were the devotees of the Lord. One had a motive, whereas Prahlada did not have a motive at all. So that's why we have these 4 groups. Atti, Jñāsu, Attati, Jñāni, Bharatarshava. Prahlada was a Jñāni. Anyway, go to the next one.
Tesham jnani nityayuktaha eka bhaktihi vishishyate priyohi jnani notyartham aham sacha mama priyaha.
Among the 4 types of bhaktas. What are the 4 types of bhaktas? One is the arti, jignasu, artharti, and finally the jnani. There are 4. Among all the 4 types of bhaktas, the jnani is the one that is very dear to me. That's what he says. Okay. Tesham jnani nityayuktaha, tesham, among all the 4 types of. Now he has completely left out the people who don't believe in God. He says that, only God can help or whatever. Among the people who believe in God, he says these are the 4 groups. Among the 4 groups of people, the one is a jnani who has realized me and then who is able to meditate upon me in one's own heart. He is the one who is very dear to me. What does he say? How does he say that? Tesham, of all the 4 groups of bhaktas or devotees, Nitya Yukta, Nitya means always, Natya always, Nitya Yukta, always thinking about the Lord. See, just like in Sai Yoga, you think of the nature of your own self in the back of your mind and do your duty. Here, these people think of the Lord and then do their duty. Nitya Yukta, without, constantly keeping the Lord in their mind. Eka Bhakti, without without any, any break in the devotion to the Lord. Jnani Visishyate. So the Jnani who is able to think of the Lord all the time, it's automatic. Once the Bhakta is able to realize the Lord within his own heart and feels the bliss in his own heart, it doesn't require any extra effort to remain in that state. How does one give up a blissful state and then engage in other activities? So it becomes automatic. For the Jnani or Bhakti Yogi, it becomes automatic. Okay. So Jnana Visishyate, such individual who is able to think of me, realize me in his own heart, such a yogi called a Jnani, Jnani, he aham Jnaninaha Atyartha Priha. Among all the various people who go after spiritual knowledge, the one who is able to realize me within his own heart, he is the greatest among all of them. Priya, he is very dear to me. Such a Mama Priyaha. Okay. He loves me, I love him. That's what it says. God should be loved. That's the message here. God is not to be feared. God is to be loved. How do you know that? You go through these things and then have a mental picture of that and then meditate on the Lord. And that's how I am able to develop a love for the Lord.
Udaraha sarva evaite jnanitvatmaiva me matam astitaha sahi yuktatma mamevanuttamam gatim.
Okay, sarve, yete, sarve, all of them. Yete, sarve means all the people who worship me. Udaraha eva. They are all good people. People who worship the Lord, they are all good people. To Jnani, but even then, Jnani, the one who practices yoga so intensely so that they will be able to realize me within their own heart, he's a Jnani. Atma eva, okay, Jnani, that Jnani, Atma Swarupa, he is none other than my own self. Jnani, Atma eva, so me mataha. That's my view. My view is that Jnani is my own Atma, my own self. Because Yukta Atma Saha, okay, Yukta Atma Saha, that such a Jnani who always thinks about me, who is always able to keep me in his own heart. Anuttamam Gatim. Anuttama means that is an unsurpassed position. What is unsurpassed position? Ultimately, at the time of death, because the yogis, the Bhakti yogi is thinking of the Lord, what will he do? He will not take another janma. He will merge with the Lord. The Jivatma will merge with the Atma. Jivatma will be, so there will be no future birth. And then he is already in a state of bliss. At the time of death, the mind will not be distracted by anything whatsoever, because the individual has got the bliss of the Lord in the heart. The same thing will continue and ultimately merges with the Lord. It's called Sayujya. Sayujya means to merge with the Lord. There is nothing higher than, for a Bhakti yogi, there is nothing higher than the merger with the Lord himself. The thing, Mam Yeva Astitaha. So, such jnanis, right through the life, hold on to me, they hold on to you. Good.
Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan man prapadyate vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabha
just like other types of yoga, right? In Raja Yoga, they say many lives. In fact, in the Karma Yoga portion, we saw that the Lord says that even all the yoga that you do will not go to waste, because I will direct, because I will direct you and give you an opportunity to continue with your yoga, so that you will be able to achieve the great goal of yoga. That's what he said in the Karma Yoga portion. So that's what he says here also. Bahunam Janmanam Ante. Bahunam, many Janmanam, after many Janmas. You keep on worshipping the Lord all through the next life. Janmanam Ante, at the end of many lives. Jnanavan Mam Prapadyante. Jnanavan means the one with what you call Vijñāna, with the knowledge of the Lord. Bahunam Janmanam Ante, after many births. Jnanavan, the Jnani, the one who has realized the true nature of the Paramatma. Sarvam Vasudevam iti. Sarvam, the entire universe, Vasudeva. Vasudeva is another name for Krishna. He is said to be born to Vasudeva. When you take Avatara, then you must take an Avatara just like all other human beings. So he was born to Vasudeva and Devaki. So Vasudeva's sons are Vasudeva. Okay. Sarvam Vasudeva iti, everything is Vasudeva iti, Mam, me, Prapadyante, they surrender to me, because everything is Vasudeva, so I surrender to me. Okay, Saha, such a Mahatma, a great soul, great Bhaktiman, Sudurlabha, such people are very few. You don't find many people like that, so it takes a lot of time, right? Just like other yoga take a lot of time, Bhakti yoga also takes a lot of time, because Bhakti yoga is something just to be cultivated. I believe in God, that's a good start. Then you got to understand the nature of the Lord, meditate upon the Lord, so that you will feel the Lord with us all the time. Okay.
Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnanavan Man Prapadyate Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlabha.
Okay. The other types of worship are there. He wants to get into that.
Kamaistaistaih Hrita Jñānaha Prapadyante Anya Devataha Tam Niyamamastaya Prakritya Niyataha Svaya.
Okay, it's not only people worship different gods, right? Those Kamaihi means desires. Hatha Jñānaha, with the power of discrimination. Tam Niyamamastaya, those what you call specific rituals. Swaya Prakritya, okay, because of their own individual nature. Niyataha, having been what you call stimulated. Niyataha Prapadyante, there are many people worship. See, what he's trying to say is that because of, it may be difficult to follow that. According to the Puranas and all, there are a number of gods, right? Number of gods. Some are what you call Kshamar, some number of gods are there, and there are some are called Shudra Devatas, are minor gods, minor spirits, if you want to call them. And then many of them are used for sometimes for minor benefit, or sometimes they are used for creating problems to other people, not dharmic desires. Right? Have you heard of black magic and things like that? See, there are certain rituals, certain minor gods are there, and some people, because of their what you call desire for a few immediate benefit, they follow minor gods like that. That's what it says in this sloka. We'll go to the next sloka, 21.
Yo yam tanum bhaktaha shraddhayarchitum ichchati tasya chalam shraddham tameva vidadham yaham.
Yaha, whosoever, bhakta means a devotee, yam, whatever, tanum. Tanum means form, right? The olden days, they were using form worship. Yam tanum, shraddhaya, with the earnestness. So the previous sloka, he talked about Shudra Devatas, where you do what you call minor gods are there, if you look at, and then they are for, sometimes creating trouble to other people, or, I don't know, some kind of black magic. So he's dealing with that in the 20th sloka. In the 21st sloka, he said, There are other gods. There are, supposing in India, there are 6 important forms of worship. One is Vaishnava. Vaishnava is Vishnu, worship of Vishnu. In which Krishna's worship comes under that particular group. Worship of Vasudeva, Krishna comes under that. Then they got the Saura, worship of the sun. Sun is a very worship of sun. Surya Namaskara we do. Okay, there is another form of important worship. And then they got the Shaiva, worship of Shiva, worship of Shakti, Shakta, worship of Ganesha, Narvatya, worship of Subramanya, called Kaumar. These are the fairly well-established forms of worship, 6 forms of worship. He says here, depending upon, many people like Ganesha, they worship. Some people work, especially in the south, they worship Subramanya. In different parts of the country, like in Kerala and also in Bengal and all that, they worship Shakti or others. And then many people who don't do farm worship, they worship the sun. So like that, there are 6 different forms of worship. He says it doesn't matter whichever accepted form of worship that you are. And then if you do it with Shraddha, with earnestness, with the firm belief that that will be accepted as as an offering to me itself. That's what he says.
Yo yo yam yam tanum bhaktaha shraddhayarchitum ichchati tasya tasya chalam shraddham tameva vidadham yaham.
Yaha means whosoever. Bhakta means an individual bhakta. Okay, some will be a Shivaka, some will be a Shakti bhakta, some will be a Ganesha bhakta. Yam means whichever. Tanam means form of worship, right? I told you 6 form of worship. Tanam, Shraddha means earnestness, right? Okay, Ganesha is the ultimate reality. That's what the Ganesha worship is that. He is the ultimate reality. Shiva is the ultimate reality. Shakti is the ultimate reality. Surya is the ultimate. He is the Brahman. He is the vertical manifest of Brahman. That's what Gayatri says. So, depending upon some people like Ganesha worship, some people worship Shakti worship, and all that. These are 6 forms of worship. But if you do it Shraddha, I accept it as though they are worshipping me. Right? This is very different from the common belief in which, people say that if I worship the Lord Vishnu or Krishna, I should not worship him either. No, it doesn't say that. If you have faith in Shiva, if you are a Shaiva worship, that is acceptable so long you got Shraddha, earnestness, and also faith in that. Tasya tam yeva Shraddham, with earnestness, aham achalam idatami. Then I give such people that required firmness, required Shraddha, achalam vidadami, achalam in Shraddha, that earnestness or the faith I give him, that faith will be unwavering faith. I am able to give it to them. Does it make sense? What he says is that you don't have to worship me all the time. There are other forms of worship. So long you worship that with earnestness, I will provide the necessary firmness in their resolve, right? Okay. 20 seconds.
Sataya shraddhaya yuktaha tasyar adharanamihate labate cha tatakamane mayaiva vihitan hitan.
Saha, such a bhakta, such a devotee, taya shraddhaya yuktaha, firmly established in that shraddha, earnestness of worshipping a particular form of the ultimate reality, shraddha, tasya aradhanam yihate, if he is able to worship the Lord with whatever way that particular worship ritual is there, if he is able to do that, tataha, from that particular devata, maya eva vihitani. All the benefits that the individual is able to get come from me. Even though devatas, when they are able to give, it comes from me. I am the ultimate reality. Vihitani, tan kaman, all those desires, he lavate is able to get that. So don't worry about. If you have got faith in Shiva, if you got faith in Shakti, you go ahead and do that. I will see to it that your Shraddha is firm, unwavering, and then ultimately it is me who is able to give you all the benefit. Even though you don't directly worship me, you are able to worship other forms which have developed in the in the course of time, I will be able to offer the same benefits. So here it's a very good example. Normally, many people there is a lot of if you worship one particular deity, then you don't talk about the other kind of deity. It was like that some time back. But according to the Lord, he says no. So long you don't go to the Shudra Devatas and then try to use the Devatas for black purposes, black magic and things like this. And if you are able to worship the Lord as the ultimate reality, whether Shiva, Shakti or whatever it be, it's perfectly all right. You worship in whatever way, whatever established way. And the only thing is, when you do it with Shraddha, earnestness, I will help to strengthen that and everything they get out of that, including the ultimate understanding of the nature of the self or union with the deity, all of those things I will give. I am the one which is able to, because I am the ultimate reality.
अंतवत्तु फलं तेषां तद्भवति अल्पमेधसां देवान् देवयजो यान्ति मद्भक्ता यान्ति मामपि.
True, but alpamedasam tesham, okay, with a narrow mind, tati palam, antavati bhavati. What he says is, if you search true, but alpamedasam, you remember we talked about the if you follow those alpa devatas or the what you call limited devatas, low level devatas, devayajaha. Okay, so people who worship the lower level of devatas, devani yanti, only they are able to only that particular level. Madbhaktaha, whereas Madbhaktaha, people who worship me, yanti, they ultimately reach me. So what he says is, if you are able to worship the devatas, then worship me, so that you will be able to achieve the ultimate good.
अव्यक्तं व्यक्तिमापन्नं मन्यन्ते माम् अबुद्धयः परं भावम् अजानन्तो ममाव्ययम् अनुत्तमम्.
Mama avyayam anuttamam. Mama means my. Avyaya means what you call avyaya means without question. Avyayam anumatam, what you call anuttamam. Anuttamam means unparalleled or incomparable. Anuttamam param bhavam, the highest what you call form, highest stage. Ajanantaha buddhayaha, people who don't understand me, who don't understand me. Abuddhayaha, people don't think on these lines. Abhyaktam mam, me, who is not easily visible to the what you call normal experience. Vyaktimapannam, okay, Vyakti means only things that manifest as real. All the objects that are seen only by the senses, manyante, they are only real. What he is trying to say is, people go after all the objects which manifest in the senses, but they do not understand, put the necessary effort to understand me, who is unmanifest. This is what he says. He says that the one reason why that particular Bhagavad Gītā is Bhakti yoga is mentioned, is written here, is to make people understand. Because if it is hidden, nobody will know. So sometime or other, the Lord will have to say, I am the one, and so that people who are not able to see, they are able to see, and then follow the path of follow the Bhakti Marga, right?
Mamavyayam anuttamam param bhavam ajananto abuddhayaha.
Avyayam mam vyaktim apannam manyante. Yes, until somebody tells me something which is not visible, something which is not known, I will not know, isn't it? There is nothing wrong with me, because that is why these books are there. These books are there to be able to understand something which we are not able to see through our senses, right? Does it make sense?
Naham prakashaha sarvasya yogamaya samavritah mudhoyam nabhijanati loko mam ajam avyayam.
Then the yogamaya, they call it, because the Maya of the Lord, Maya, Krishna himself is known as Mayavi. Mayavi means the one, he's a magician, like a magician creates illusions. The Lord created the universe, which is just an illusion. That's the view of the Mayavadins.
Naham prakashaha sarvasya yogamaya samavritah mudhoyam nabhijanati loko mam ajam avyayam.
Yogamaya samavritah. Yogamaya, yoga means the Lord is a yoga, is Maya. Yogamaya samavritah. Samavritah, completely deluded by the Yogamaya. Sarvasya na prakasha. Because through my Maya I created this entire universe. Everybody, because of the Maya, they are see who really I am, who really the creator is. How did the whole universe come about? We don't have an answer. We don't have an answer. We don't have an answer. Right? But it is there. Where did this universe come from? Right? Yoga Maya Samavrittaha. So because of this Maya, I am able to find out. I am not able to see Yoga Maya Samavrittaha, completely deluded by the Maya. Aham Sarvasya. Sarvasya, I am not Prakasha. Nobody is able to see me. Nobody is able to see me. Muda ayam loka. This, what you call this, Muda. Muda means what you call ignorant world. Ajam abhyayam. Ajam means one which is not born. The universe is born. Whereas the Lord did not have a birth. Is there ever? Okay? It's perennial. Ajam abhyayam mam. Ajam means not born. Abhyaya means there is no end to me. Me, na Vijñānati, they don't understand me, they don't realize me. So what people say there? That's what people say. And other people who believe in God are not very sure, they're not very clear about it. That is why the Lord decided in this particular yuga to come and tell Arjuna that there is God, and then the best thing that anyone can do is to realize the Lord.
Vedaham samatitani vartamanani charjuna bhavishyani cha bhutani tam tu vedana kaschana.
Arjuna is Arjuna. Samaditani, atitani means some which is the past. Samaditani, completely gone. All the past is gone. Samaditani, vartamanani, and also what exists at this particular moment, vartamanani, bhavishyani, and also what will be in the future, all those that were in the past, all that are back to present, and all those that will be in future, bhavishyani cha, Bhutani, all those creatures, billions of people live in the past, billions of people live at present, and there will be billions of people in the future. Bhutani, Aham Veda, I know everything, I know all the creatures, I know because I know them. True, but Mam, me, okay, question, na Veda, not a single person knows who really I am. I know everybody, but nobody knows me.
Vedaham samatitani vartamanani charjuna bhavishyani cha bhutani tam tu vedana kaschana.
One more shloka.
Ichadvesha samuttena dvandamokhena bharata sarva bhutani sammoham sarge yanti parantapa.
Parantapa means the one who is able to defeat the enemies. Parantapa, to defeat our enemies. Bharata is another term for Arjuna because he belongs to the Bharata dynasty. Bharata. Icha, Dvesha, Samuchena. Icha means desire, Dvesha means hatred. This is the Dvandva. Dvandva means pairs of opposite. We are tormented by desires and hatred. Desires and anger. Desires and hatred. Icha, Dvesha. Dvesha means enmity. Icha means desire, Dvesha. Samuttena, okay, arising out of desire and hate. All our activities, or most of our activities, arise out of desire and hatred. Dvandva mohena, dvandva means pairs of opposite. In fact, this is what Patanjali in his Yoga Sutra says. Tato dvandva vigataha, we practice yoga asanas regularly. Tataha dvandva anabhigataha, the dvandva pairs of opposite starts slowly coming down. Dvandva mohena, deluded by the dvandva pairs of opposite. Sarva Bhutani, all the creatures, Sarge, even at the time of birth, some they are completely confused, right? From the time of birth, right up to now, there are so many things for which I don't have an answer. Where did the universe come from? Who created this? Was there a creator? Is there a creator? So wonderful. The creation itself is so wonderful. Sometimes it appears to be bad, but then if you look deeper into it, you'll find out that it's enormously intelligent activity, right? Enormous amount of planets should have gone there. There should have been an intelligent entity to create this universe. Even a small thing, you'll say, okay, who is the intelligent person who created this? You say, even a small thing. Who created this entire universe, right? Look at the inbuilt order in the entire universe. How cells behave, how the atoms behave, how the human beings behave, how the creatures behave. It's all, you sit down and think about it, it is a wonder. There should be a creator. Without an intelligent creator, without which this cannot be created at all.
Ichadvesha samuttena dvandvamokhena bharata sarvabhutani sammoham sarge yanti parantapa.
He says, the Lord said, I created this universe. I created this universe. He is going to explain the nature of the Lord in great details in the next couple of chapters, right? Okay. Now I think we'll stop at this point.
Vanamali Gadi Sharngi Shanki Chakri Chanandaki Sriman Narayano Vishnur Vasudevo Bhirakshatu Jñāna Govinda Madhavananda Keshava Krishna Vishnu Rishi Kesha Vasudeva Namostute Shankachakra Gadapane Srimadvarakan Nilayachyuta Govinda Pundari Kaksharakshamam Sharanagatam Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagadhitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Oh